Before I start the video, I just want to say that first off, thank you for the 30 subs. I really do appreciate it. And the reason I'm continuing this series is because I got 11 likes. The target was 5 likes, which means you did it. You won the challenge. I challenged you and you won. Let's see if you can do it again. If you want to see the next episode, how about 6 likes this time? Okay, it's a huge number. It's a lot higher than the previous number. Believe me. Okay. Second of all, this story isn't about me, Pitbull. Okay, I'm just narrating it. It's from a guy. The username on Reddit is Killing Time. You can check him out. I'll leave a link in the description below. Okay. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the video. How's it going, guys? I need to clear some stuff up with you guys before I get into my story. First of all, a lot of you guys are doubting the fact that I got a 50 caliber sniper without a waiting period. The reason I was able to obtain it so easily was because the state I bought it in is a very lenient state when it comes to gun policies, and on top of that, the owner of the store was my neighbor, and he knew that I wanted since forever. So, all I needed to do was a little background check and to fill out some paperwork, and it was mine. Secondly, some of you said I won't last a week. If you had even listened to what I said in the first 2 paragraphs of my previous entry, you would know that this has been going on for 4 weeks. Now, anyways, let's continue. So I had just got confirmation that my payment was received and that someone would be sent out the next day. I started packing all the belongings in my apartment that I would need, as I wouldn't be able to return until the whole thing was over. I packed in about a month's worth of clothes, all my electronics that I need, all my guns and spy gear I had bought myself, and a few miscellaneous items like a toothbrush and shampoo. Once everything was packed up, I went to my friend's house that had an older car for sale, registered to his name. I asked him if we could trade cars, and I gave him 2k to keep my car in his backyard and watch it. I figured that if this agency was any good, they'd look up my DMV record and they could get my license plate, which would make me a lot easier to find. He agreed, and he told me to be careful and to watch after myself. So I set off back to my apartment that night to load everything I packed into the trunk in the back seat. I also set a little note on my coffee table in the living room that said, "Tag, you're it," just to screw with the guy, and gave him a little heads up that this wasn't going to be an average hit. What fun would it be if he didn't even know that this was going to be a fun little game? I now had everything I needed to go in the height in the car that couldn't be tracked back to me before the day ended. I went to Walmart and picked up myself a little prepaid smartphone, and then dismantled my own phone so I couldn't be tracked via GPS. Before it got too late, I stopped by the little spy shop again and picked up a magnetic GPS locator. You know, that Walter Hank from Breaking Bad put under Gus Fring's car. To follow him after that, I was fully ready to do this. Now turning back now. I went back to the area around my apartment around 11 p.m. and parked about 2/3 to 3/4 of a mile away to wait. No way I could stay the night there and allow the guy to get the drop on me while I was asleep. I sat on the passenger side of the car to make it look like I was waiting for a friend to come back to the car, and not to freak people out who lived in the apartments I was in front of. They said they'd be sending him out the next day, so I had to sleep in the car and wait for him to arrive. I went to sleep around midnight and woke up around 7 a.m. I took my nice deer hunting binoculars and waited and waited and waited. I finally got hungry enough to convince myself I needed to eat, so I went to a little fast food joint and picked up a few burgers. I went back and parked in the same spot I was before. It was around 5 p.m. at this time, and I figured the guy wasn't going to come during the day, so I screwed around Reddit for a few hours until it got dark. I finally got bored on Reddit, so I went back to watching my apartment around 10 a.m. I watched an all black car with dark tinted windows. I think it was a Chrysler 300 pull up a few hundred feet from my apartment on the other side of the street. It looked a bit fishy, a count that I had out of state plates I had never seen in my neighborhood before, so I started to watch it. It just sat there for about 10 minutes, presumably checking out the house. Then it drove away. Huh, well, that was weird, I thought to myself as I had the biggest grin on my face. I knew that was my guy. I tried to sleep that night, maybe got a few hours and around 1 o'clock, but I was so excited with anticipation that I couldn't get a full night's rest. I woke up around 3 a.m. to 3:30 to check everything out, so I started screwing around on Reddit again to pass the time around. Around 4 a.m., the same black car pulled up in the same spot as before. 2 to 3 minutes of waiting there, the lights shut off and a man got out. He was a bigger guy around my height, 6 foot, but way bigger muscle-wise. The dude could definitely beat the shit out of me in close quarters combat, so I knew I couldn't let that happen. The guy was also dressed in a really nice suit. What a stupid stereotypical hitman, I thought to myself. I noticed I had the biggest grin on my face again. I felt so alive. The man walked across the street, and sure enough went up to my apartment. He took a key out of his pocket, put it in a lock, and slammed on it with his small metal brick thing. I knew it was a bump key. He then entered my apartment and shut the door behind him. About 30 seconds later, after he did that, I used the binoculars to focus in on his license plates and wrote down the number. After about 5 minutes, he came out, put something in his pocket. I'm pretty sure it was his gun. He also had something else crumbled in his other hand. He threw it in the gutter and got back in his car and drove off. I waited about an hour and went to go see what he threw out. Sure enough, it was the tag your writ note. I left him. I started laughing hysterically. I knew this was gonna be a lot more fun than I could ever hope for. I went back to my car to try to catch a few hours of sleep. When I awoke, the sun was already up. It was around 8 a.m. I drove off to another one of my buddy's houses who worked for the DMV to get some info from him. He wasn't there, so I went to his work to find him. After about 15 minutes, when he was in between helping people, I walked up to his counter. He was surprised to see me and greeted me with, "What's up, man?" I sat down without saying anything to him and slipped him a piece of paper with a license plate number on it. "What's this?" he asked. I just looked at him and said, "Don't ask questions. I need the info of the person who these plates belong to." "Dude, I can't give that to you. I could get into a lot of trouble." I pulled out about 200 bucks from my wallet and slipped it to him, and I said, "Please, dude, this is really important. This guy wants to kill me, and I need his information. My life depends on it. Here's 200 bucks. I know you and your wife have been hurting for money." He looked at me with a really serious look and muttered under his breath, "Shit, man." He took the money and put it into his pocket and started typing on his computer. He then got up from his chair and told me he'd be right back. A minute later, he came back with a few sheets of paper. This is everything I could get on the guy. I looked at him again with a really serious face and said, "Don't mention this to anyone, not even your wife. This guy is really dangerous and I don't need you getting involved. And make sure no one can trace back to the fact you looked up his information." He looked back at me and said, "Okay." As I was getting up to leave, he just said, "Take care of yourself, man, and be careful." I told him that I couldn't thank him enough. When I got to my car and studied, I opened the sheets and started studying the piece of paper, and once again I had a huge grin on my face. I now had a bunch of this guy's info in my hands. I knew who I was dealing with. I'm not disclosing the man's name due to concerns for myself and his family, so we'll just refer to him as Mike. Mike was 35 years old and was registered to an address in Arizona, like I thought it was a black Chrysler 300. Now now that I had the info I needed, it was time to stake out my house a bit more. When I got back, it was around 1 p.m. when I parked a little bit further this time. I sat in my car for about another hour. When 2 p.m. rolled around, I saw the same 300 roll up about 2 blocks away from my place again, further away from the last time, but close enough to watch the place thoroughly. I was only about a mile away from him and he didn't even know it. So, the Burger King I'm in is pretty much dead now, and I've been here for quite a while. I need to get back to my hotel and planning some stuff. I'll try to post back tomorrow when I have a bit of free time around 5 or 6 p.m. Until next time. Hey guys, please don't click off. This isn't the end. There's still like 20 more seconds. Well, not 20 exactly, but anyways, first of all, thank you for the 33 subs. I really appreciate it. I was waiting so long to see that number rise. It was way faster than 20 subs, to be honest. And then second of all, thank you for all the support on the video last week or yesterday or something like that. I can't remember. And then, sorry for the dogs barking. Thirdly, I think you all noticed some new things like the Star Words. I don't know who did that. It wasn't me, totally not. Some random guy in the galaxy who sent that to my phone. You know, you know how it goes. Anyways, that's the intro saying like episode 2, the outro with all my details and thingies on. And then fourthly, the words on the screen right now is my new email address, which you should send stories that are real, not fake, totally, to my email account, and I will read them and make you famous and all those, awesome words. Okay, and even though you don't have stories, just say hi. I will respond no matter what. If I don't respond right away, it means I don't have internet. Yeah, you know the drill. Anyways, yeah, that's what the words are right now. It will be pitbullstories@gmail.com if I forgot to put it on after recording this. And then fourthly, subscribe if you are new here. Leave a like. Remember, I said 6 likes, break the large new record with like 4 likes more, so we can make it 17 likes now, or whatever it was. So if it's 12, it's 16. If it's 13, it's 17. 11, it's 15. Anyways, you know the drill. Okay, send the video to all your friends. Tell them exactly what that person said with the star words. Yeah, because he's smart. He's a very wise person. He knows what he's talking about. He's super duper smart. He's getting like 90 for his science, and his maths and all those things. Not 100% because some of those words are spelled incorrectly according to me. I know. Okay. Shh. Anyways, goodbye. Enjoy your day. And I'll see you guys in the next episode, hopefully. Bye.